1, 2, 3, 4. You know what to do. Let's do this, Gersh. And Sound Alchemist. Doing it for the good greater. Yeah. Sorry, I was getting my Let's Bring It On and Drumline going.
Oh, you watch Drumline on Disney Plus?
Is it really on there?
I don't know. Welcome back to another. Well, no, hold on. You messed me up. That's a different thing. This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put a question in front of your question because we get to those questions first.
And that is what?
Good old Digital Sigma did. He asks, would you like to play a game on the tabletop from the Unification War era and use armies such as the Thunder Warriors and the Techno Barbarians? Of course. It would be really hard. Well, first, let's break it down for all those people that don't know what the Unification War was. The Unification War was a time period right after the Age of Strife and right before the Great Crusade. Mm-hmm. Basically, the Imperium was nothing. The Emperor finally decided, hey, I'm going to stop hiding and I'm going to try to unify humanity. But first he had to unify Terra. So the Unification War is basically the unification of all the Terran techno-barbarian colonies. I think there's like 7. Check out our 40 facts on the Unification War if you guys want more information. But basically, the planet Earth was just a huge radiation pit. Yeah. Full of like magicians,
mutants, monsters, a lot of more M words.
So many M words.
Muppets
everywhere. Yeah. And so would I want to play a game? Yes, in that. The only thing is that they would have to make it unique in that it can't be 30K and it can't be like 40K and it can't be like any other game that they've created.
I think the closest would be something like Necromunda, where like you have monsters that come out, like Griblies, monsters and Griblies,
maybe
something like that. Because like let's say you have your unit of Thunder Warriors and you're going to assault the I don't know, some toxic waste that a warlord's controlling because you need some resource that he has. So you could really tailor it to be more campaign specific, where as you progress you get more resources. Your Unification Wars actually unify that part of Terra and you grow as an army.
Yeah, that'd be really cool to introduce like a campaign aspect of it. I would also really like to see the old school Warhammer Epic come back. So maybe even do like epic style battles where you go around trying to unify certain places of Earth. Because it was cool, because like it was like China, Africa, Europe was broken down into like a bunch of places. I don't know if America was there. It had to have been there, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be a lot of fun. And I would really like to, if it was like an Necromunda, that'd be cool. But I would really like to see like an epic size like thing, where like you do have like one badass psyker, and then he can just like send out huge armies, and it's at a smaller scale. Like the figures are smaller, but the scale of the war is bigger.
Right. Epic was pretty interesting. I remember that got one of our friends when we first started playing.
Yep.
He's like, "Oh, sweet, a whole Space Marine army for $200. What?"
No, he paid $20.
Was it $20? Okay.
Yeah,
I knew it was like 2 something.
Yeah, I think it was $20, and he was so excited, and then it turns out that it's all epic models. His mom was so mad. But we were young. We were like probably 12.
Yeah, something like that.
Those were the good old days.
If we only knew what $20 can get you at GW.
Nothing now. Next question comes from Travis Becker. How can you say a Terran can be a space wolf when in previous 40 facts you stated something about non-Fenrisians not being able to handle the gene seed because of the Canis Helix or whatever. So we were just trying to help that guy out.
Yeah, because when it comes to fan lore, you can always twist things. Maybe these Terran-born people are really resilient to that strain of the Canis Helix. But when it comes down to it, yeah, that thing kills a lot of non-Fenrisian peoples.
Yeah, and then not to mention, like, it is just, because, like, a Fenrisian is still a human.
Right.
So it could, like you said, it could just be a really durable Terran-born person that, like, ends up becoming a space wolf. That lineage doesn't necessarily have to be there. It just has to be that biologically he's like a tough guy. Also, there is rumors that there have been successor chapters of the Space Wolves, quite possibly broken off from that Lost Company or from other companies that went on the Great Hunt but never came back. And if that's true, then they have to recruit from somewhere, and they have to use Lehman Russ's gene seed. So there, I mean, you could say that even in the lore, there is suspected successor chapters of the Space Wolves. I think they're called the Dark Wolves or something like that. And they could exist.
Right.
So there's, like you said, there's always a way to twist the lore, because the GW is constantly doing it.
Right. Like how Sanguinius was dead. Not anymore. He's in stasis.
Or how like the Primaris supposedly have been the project for the Primaris existed for 10,000 years and nobody knew about it. That kind of stuff. Always be able to twist the lore, and at the end of the day, if you're at the hobby store or the GW store and somebody calls you out, it's 40K.
Yeah.
Time anomalies. Next question.
This one's by Ray K, or K Ray. What armies do you guys run? And also, what armor would you run?
So let's do which is the easiest one?
Armies, I guess.
Yeah.
So Tau. Currently, it's been Tau, Space Marines, and Chaos Space Marines. But I have played the Minotaurs chapter. I had the Grey Knights. And there was a time where I had some Nurgle stuff, but I didn't play that.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had Nurgle. I've always played Space Wolves, Orcs, and then recently I've been playing Skitarii. I have some Inquisitor stuff.
Imperial Fists.
Oh, yeah, Imperial Fists. And that's pretty much it, I think.
When it comes to Age of Sigmar, you've got pretty much all of them.
Yeah, so Age of Sigmar I've been collecting throughout the years. I never thought we were actually going to play, and then when we started playing, it was like, oh, cool, I already have a bunch of armies. I have the Stormcast Eternal. I have the Orcs, like the old school Orcs, the savage ones, that they ride like
Pigs
and stuff.
Or are they hogs?
Maybe both. And then I have
Swine.
They have swine flu. That's like eczema. That should just be a running joke throughout every episode. And then what else do I have? My beasts.
Yeah, the beast. Are they called beastmen?
Beasts of Chaos, I think.
Beasts of Chaos.
And then Corn, Blades of Corn. The Blades of Corn is really the ones that I play. Those are behind my hat. And then I also have the dwarves, the ones with the little cloud thingy. What are they called?
Cloud dwarves.
Cloud dwarves. Yeah.
Yeah, I just got Night Haunts, and I'm fighting the struggle to play the Slaves to Darkness or Slaves of Darkness guys.
They look badass.
The Start Collecting box is amazing. They look really cool.
Yeah, I also collect his army too. They're right there.
We got like 5 models for the Night Haunts.
Yeah. No, actually, I got more in the closet, but I just haven't built it.
Surprisingly, I've never actually used those models.
No, they look cool.
Yeah, they look a lot like Skaven. That's what I thought they were at first.
Yeah. And the thing that we're pointing to is those like ghostly horse people with scythes. Are they scythes?
Somewhat. They got like sharp sticks.
Glaives, maybe?
Yeah.
But yeah. Age of Sigmar is fun.
Yeah, the lore for Age of Sigmar is really cool. Like the lore about those guys is like once they choose an enemy, their sticks always point at that enemy until they finally kill it.
So they just like stab. And then as far as armor, what armor would you choose?
I like runic armor.
Like for sorcerers and stuff?
Yeah. Well, no, like for the Space Wolves, how they have like the runes inscribed in it and stuff like that.
I would do Cataphractii armor because that's the only thing that came to mind.
I mean, if Cataphractii armor is pretty badass.
It's the Terminator stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's like one step up.
Yep. When I was looking at the Forge World armor, like for Terminators, they had like Tartarus, Cataphractii, and the other ones, I forget what they're called. Definitely that one stuck out as more badass looking.
Yeah. Next question comes from Grandpa and Mac Show. How do Imperial citizens join the Imperial Guard or the Imperial Navy? They get conscripted, which means they just get, what is it called?
It's like a draft.
Yeah, like a draft. Think of it as a draft. Next question.
This one's by Valeta Petra Xynurin. Is Call responsible for the cursed founding? If I recall correctly, it was an AdMech deciding to play God with the Emperor's design for the Gene Seed. I refuse to believe that Call did have the foresight to test this product before going into the production of the Primaris Astartes. Maybe he's the one that leaked some of his research to the AdMech and thus resulted in the cursed founding.
That could be a possibility. I think that it was more of the schemes of the Chaos Gods that probably created that, but it could be.
Yeah. I mean, if you're trying to benefit humanity, why would you knowingly do something like this?
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that it's going to cause mutations and the Space Marines are going to be more prone to chaos, that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
And I think the timeline doesn't add up. Because
Right.
supposedly Call has been creating them.
He finished this like 10,000 years ago.
Yeah.
They were just in like stasis or slumber or whatever.
So then, because like it's the cursed founding is the 30-something founding, isn't it?
Right.
Or the 13th founding.
Right. 13.
So, yeah. In terms of like the timeline, I don't think it adds up.
Mm-hmm. Es que fue sin querer queriendo.
Yes.
Queriendo? I can't speak to
Queriendo?
Queriendo.
Queriendo. Next question comes from Daniel Peak. I play Night Lords, but their Legion trait is made of crap in 8th edition. What do y'all think would be better trait, but still fit their lore? Oh, I wish I knew the Night Lords trait. Do you?
I think it has something to do with like just lowering leadership of like units around them, which ain't all that. With the Night Lords, you can do a lot because they do hit and run tactics, and they're all about scaring the enemy before they go into battle. So maybe you could have an ability where you pick like a single unit from the enemy's army, and they have like a minus to their leadership, and then you have maybe like you roll a d6, and that's how many models flee because they're too scared. Something along those lines. I don't know.
You should just steal from the Alpha Legion. The Alpha Legion has that trait where if you're out of 12 inches from them, you take a -1 to your hit roll, and it kind of represents.
That's Raven Guard, isn't it? Well, I think they have the
and
same.
Alpha Legion, yeah, it's the same. Well, Raven Guard don't even have it anymore. I think the latest.
It's a stratagem now, isn't it?
Something like that, yeah. But if you just take the Alpha Legion one, I think it would kind of make sense because it's supposed to be like the Night Haunts or the Night Lords are supposed to be like so scary that like.
Oh, I don't want to shoot them. I'm afraid.
I don't know how that even fits with the Alpha Legion though.
Well, I think it's like you think they're on your side or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that you should steal the Alpha Legion one because it's really good. The Skitarii have it.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
So
I still think the best one's the one the Salamanders have. A single reroll to hit, single reroll to wound.
a single for what? For every single thing?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, it's not every single. It's per unit per unit.
It has to be special guns too, no?
No, I think it's everything.
Damn.
That's why, like, because when we play against that one player,
the Salamander.
the Salamander dude, he's like, all right, I'm gonna hit you with my Malta. I missed. Oh, I could reroll it. I hit. Okay, now D6 damage. Oh, I rolled a 1. I could reroll it. 6.
I guess that kind of makes sense because they are Melta weapons, and Melta weapons are like you get one shot.
Yeah.
And I hate that's why I think the assassins are so shitty because they only get one shot, and then like you can't really reroll that shot unless it's a 1, something weird like that. But whenever you have a weapon that only does one attack, it's always really annoying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to like playing Bad Moons and bringing a shooter and then rolling like 100 dice, and then only getting 2 wounds. But yeah.
Yeah, it really sucks when you're like, all right, I got this best gun. Nope, can't even hit.
Nope.
Next one is by Elbard Thawne. If the man emperor of mankind became a god, what kind of mutations would he cause?
A skinny penis.
Shit. I guess he's already become one.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. Holla back.
That's an old. It's an old thing.
It is old, yeah.
It's VH1, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think if the God Emperor became a god, his mutations would be very similar to what they are now. So like
halos, bright white glowing eyes, the lights,
not dying,
right?
being able to be in two places at once. So just look at the Legion of the Damned, look at Saint Celestine, look at the Sisters of Battle, basically all those things. You know what would be cool too is if one of the Emperor's mutations was the same thing that the Rosarius does. I just did the 40 facts on the Sisters of Battle, and I was talking about Goj Vandire and how Goj Vandire tricked the Sisters of Battle by using a Rosarius, which was just an STC, or it was just like a thing from the Dark Age of Technology that created a force field around you. So if you got shot, that the bullet would be not hit you basically. So if you had that, but you didn't have to carry around a Rosette or a Rosarius, that'd be kind of cool. Kind of like to rub salt in the wound of Goj Vandire, who's dead now.
Who took his place? Wasn't like Thor or something?
Yep, Thor.
El Dios.
Thor. And then last question.
This one is by Tyler Flynn. What would happen if Leman Russ never destroyed Prospero and he brought Magnus to the Emperor? Like, I've thought about this before, because, like, I don't think Magnus would be forgiven. Maybe he'd be forever chained upon the Golden Throne, basically being used as a battery for the rest of his life.
But I do think that Tzeentch, because, like, Magnus is the only Tzeentch greater demon.
Well, no, because he has the, I forgot, they have, like, really weird names.
Or, sorry, Primaris greater demon.
Yeah. Primarch.
Or Primarch, yeah, Primarch greater demon. And they're all supposed to have one, and then everybody else is undivided. And I think if that was true, then it would play out as like Tzeentch might be in control of like the ecclesiarchy somehow. If like manipulating Terran ecclesiarchy and the High Lords through Magnus, who's sitting on or who's chained on the Golden Throne, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I do always think that Tzeentch would have gotten Magnus.
Oh yeah, hands down. If this is like one of the strongest psychers to ever have existed, of course Tzeentch's eyes would be fixated on him.
And not to mention, like, Magnus could not turn down all that knowledge, because knowledge is power. Yeah. But yeah, those are the questions. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. If we didn't get to your question, don't feel bad. Just ask again, or hit us up on Facebook, Instagram. If it's like detrimental to your life, if you really need to know, can a crew eat the Emperor? Ask us on Instagram.
Or like, how much wood can a woodchuck chuck?
If
a woodchuck
would.
Yeah.
And the trick question. That's a trick question, because woodchucks cannot chuck wood, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah. This has been Gershwan,
the Sound Alchemist, and we are out.
Oh, if you took my freedom.